Hi, students, it's week 4, and we are going to continue with our population discussions. We're going to get some more foundations for understanding how demographers and geographers look at population expansion, growth, decline, all of that stuff. So, you've got videos this week on the demographic transition model, the epidemiological transition model, and also Thomas Malthus. You can see the board behind me in this video that I used in our lesson video that looks at Thomas Malthus. He is a famous population theorist who was not very popular in his day, but this day and age, a lot of folks use his theories and apply it toward the climate change phenomenon that we can measure with data collected worldwide. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. We're also going to focus our last video lesson this week is going to talk about population and how migration can affect that, because all of the lessons that we're going to look at that focus on those things I mentioned, all of those are snapshots that have to do with a country and the geopolitical boundaries of a country before really globalism came into the world. So people like Thomas Malthus that we're going to talk about did not envision a world where we could share the food supply with other nations, where imports and exports of food that was mass produced through industrialized agriculture happened around the world. So this kind of thing that of course has happened in the most recent decades of this century and the last decades, like the last half of the 20th century, you saw increasing globalization and food supplies exploding. And so, and also because of that, you saw the ability for people, huge amounts of people, to move from one place to the next in a society. Not just move, I don't just mean like from Jackson, Mississippi to Benton, Arkansas. I mean move from like Argentina to France, or from South Africa to Canada, or Guatemala to Texas. Those are the kinds of moves that I'm talking about. So the last video that we will have this week is about migration, because those other concepts that chapter 2 focuses on doesn't really include population changes in size and composition based on migrants coming to an area. It just looks at the birth rate, the death rate, the natural increase rate, and the things that we learned about. It expands on the things that we learned about last week in geography class. So get your thinking caps on, and please make sure that when you're taking notes, I want you to start seeing those connections. We're in week 4 now, and I want you to start seeing those connections about how each weekly lesson kind of tells a story and gives us more information, so that we can start analyzing and seeing connections between macro scale things in the world like globalization and micro scale stuff like what food might end up in our daily diet and weekly diet and that kind of thing. So because we'll talk about that a little bit in this week, and then increasingly more and more we're going to talk about that in future weeks. And also migration. We'll definitely hit migration this week, but we'll hit it hot and heavy next week. So that's what you can expect, and I hope that I'm going to get a whole lot of good reaction papers. I hope your quiz scores are going to still be high. Do a reaction paper before you take that quiz, and your quiz score will be high, and you'll get an announcement from me later about what our first test is going to be like and when it's due. So look for that also. Okay, see ya. Bye.